Okay. Ow. Ow. Congratulations to the Venezuelan president for being captured. Apparently. Me when I get captured in my own country. Dude, what could have bro what could he have done? Honestly, like what on earth could have he done to make us go over there, take him and his wife and leave? Something awful had to have happened. That doesn't happen for no reason. Oh my gosh. And oh, I'm feeling that choice in the way. I'm feeding that void every day. I'm screaming your voice in my brain. It's more than I can take in. Oh. Whatever comes next, I pray. Okay, that's cool. "13 more rounds." Okay. Oh, hold up. I gotta change my thing to live chat, not top chat. I should be able to hit instas before I go to work. Oh, my monitor turned off. Thank you. Okay. Again? Why is my screen doing that. I need to buy myself a new HDMI cord. But they lock up everything at Walmart. Like, literally everything. Nope, not yet. May I listen to music without my internet being like utter dog? Why is the internet so bad right now? There's actually no reason for it. What seriously, what on earth could be taking up so much network usage? Nothing! So it's just natively like that. Okay. I'm gonna end all of my tasks when relating to that real quick. There's that.
Pretty good letting my imagination get ahead of me. I didn't quite realize I was watching you become a memory. I was going nowhere and I hoped you'd come with said goodbye instead.
Thank you, dogs.
what you found. 'Cause I tried to run, but I could never get out. What are you that I'm not? Wow.
Why'd that end so quickly?
And maybe everything I felt lately inherited its framing from knowing you as well. See, I could never truly reply to things you opened my eyes to. Help me out of my shell. You help me out of my shell. You help me out of my shell. You left me here as well, though. Where the fuck did you go? Well, I guess it never mattered half as much to you as what it did to me. It's not a gift to come to knowledge of a cruel and cold disparity like that. With time, resentment warped my opinion of you. What does that say of me? When really you were just the first person to treat me with some honesty. Just how you are. Maybe that's why you've been to places I could only think about. I'm hoping maybe you might tell me what you found. 'Cause I tried to run, but I could never get out. What are you that I'm not?
Oh, well.
Where the fuck did you go? Where the fuck did you go? And maybe everything I felt lately inherited its framing from knowing you as well. See, I could never truly reply to things you opened my eyes to. Help me out of my shell.
This one's off limits.
Where do we go from here? Have we gotten lost? I'm starting to think we're out of touch. When did it disappear? Settled in with the dust. Forget what it was that made us us. Walking backwards, losing focus. Slipped so slow we didn't notice. Never read the warning signs.
I love how that one spawns all the way over there. I love spawn zones in BO4.
Made our plans, we're gonna get it. 'Cause I got your hand in mine. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Highs and lows, all that I know is that I'm gonna follow you wherever you go. Wherever you go, my dear, need you the most. And I wanna know, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Again. Dude, that's an issue. That's like such an issue. I know for a fact you guys saw it. It's not that one. Which one is it? It has to be that one. We'll do all. Again. Again. I really hope I paused. I really hope I paused. You gonna cooperate? Maybe? It'd be nice. It'd be really nice. Can I play? Are we sure I'm allowed to play? I had to go buy like a 10-pack of HDMI cords or something. You just keep them for when they start going bad, because I don't know.
In my last video, I mentioned how I don't want to be a content creator that's constantly negative about Overwatch. So rather than making 10 videos complaining about everything there is to complain about, I'd rather just make one video addressing the issue at its source. Now, I will be using some examples to prove my points, but I hope it still comes across as constructive, and I hope I don't complain too much. I love Overwatch, and I'm someone who truly wants to see what's best for the game. So what is the issue? Well, it is simply that the devs struggle to listen to feedback, fail to communicate or respond in a timely manner, and they just don't pay attention to the details. A lot of the things that we're constantly complaining about that drives a lot of negativity surrounding the game all just boils down to that. Now, I want to start by saying 2025 has been a goated year for Overwatch. It's probably the best year they've had outside of like a release year. I don't think they get enough glaze for the success of Perks. They recognized that they needed to spice up the game, and I think Perks did it perfectly. They added depth to all the heroes without taking away from the game. It was a risk, and it was a huge success. Their stadium as well. I know it's kind of controversial. I can make a whole other video on that if we want to. But at the end of the day, it's new content. It's a whole other way to play the game.
All right.
You got a new core game mode this year. And if it's not your cup of tea, you don't got to play it. Doesn't take away from the rest of the game. Also, I know there's some discourse around that, and I'll talk about that later in the video. The hero releases this season have been good.
No, they haven't.
Pretty fun, pretty cool. Wu Yong, I think, is well liked.
Wu Yang's good.
Is also a
Freya's
good hero.
fine.
I know that may be controversial. I'm going to talk about that later as well.
Vendetta's
And then
not
Hazard,
though.
Who, okay, I'm a Hazard hater, but I'll admit he's pretty fun to play as. But yeah, no, heroes were solid, and everything else has been good too. In general, Overwatch makes high quality updates, which makes it even more frustrating when a lot of that gets overshadowed by seemingly small issues. For example, the leaderboard changes that I made the video on recently. Obviously, it's a bad change, but it's not that big of a deal. it doesn't affect that many people, and even the people it does affect, like, it doesn't stop you from playing the game. Like, but the issue is that it's just this unnecessarily bad change that doesn't have to exist, and people understandably want it reverted. And until that happens, all we're going to hear about from the community is complaining about the leaderboard. And this brings me to my point that it's just this cycle of negativity that doesn't have to exist. There's no reason why they can't revert the leaderboard. It shouldn't be that hard, or at least communicate. We've heard nothing. They haven't addressed any of the complaints. And so it's just going to continue, and that's what dominates the discourse. Another great example of this, the Season 17 block bug. For those who don't know, it was a bug where the damage reduction from armor and blocking didn't stack properly. So basically, if you're on like Ramatra and you're in your armor threshold and you're blocking, you basically took no damage. And this made Ramatra turbo OP, and it defined the meta that season. Now, the issue wasn't that there was a bug. It was the response, or lack thereof. The bug was discovered like pretty early into the season, and it did not get fixed until the next season, the patch, Season 18 patch note. And so the entirety of Season 17 was just spent complaining, because the entire meta was being defined by a bug. I don't even remember anything else about Season 17. I don't know what content there was. I don't know the Battle Pass theme or anything. If there was something good happening that season, I don't remember. All I remember was just the Ramatra bug. And the thing that is really frustrating about that is, why are we waiting until a scheduled patch note to fix a bug?
Yes!
To fix a meta-defining bug. People are scrimming. They're playing Face-It matches on this. Like, did we find the fix and go, oh no, let's wait. Let's wait until our scheduled patch note in 2 weeks to fix it. What? Even if you found the fix like 5 days before the next season, like, hotfix it. It's a bug. Also, it shouldn't take that long in the first place. It was discovered very early into Season 17. Like, that's urgent. That's the game. And I saw a tweet about it at the time saying that, like, fixing bugs like that isn't always simple and it can take time. And you know what? That's fine. Maybe
Address
do a
it,
Band-Aid
though.
fix. Like, if Ramatra is blocking and in armor, he takes 20% more damage or something like that in the meantime, while they're still trying to figure it out. Or if that's not okay, then just vault him or something. Or like say something. Because when you're not on top of that stuff, and especially when you don't communicate about it, there's nothing else to talk about. It's like the default assumption is like, this is going to stay forever, because I have nothing else to go off of. Another example is Clash in Ranked. Everyone knows Clash sucks balls. Everyone hates it. But it's not just a game mode that people dislike. It also lacks competitive integrity. The game mode is just straight up unbalanced. Like, if you were winning, the losing team would essentially get like free team fights on Third Point, where they could win the team fight without really trying. Like, they just had such an advantage that they didn't need to like invest anything. They could stack their ults, and then they would essentially just be rewarded for losing. And a lot of times you would see a reverse sweep, not because the team that started off strong played badly or did anything wrong, but just because the other team got rewarded for losing the first 2 points. And so you'd have games where you would win more team fights but still lose the game. And this issue is like pretty obvious, like day one pretty much. And it stayed for 6 months. And the discourse around the game for that entire 6 months was negativity. Because when you ask someone what's going on with Overwatch, they say, well, Clash is in Ranked, it sucks. They added this new game mode that nobody likes, and they force us to play it. That's what gets talked about. Anything good just gets overshadowed. And it doesn't have to be like that. The public perception of the game really matters. With all these issues, like, you can still play the game. The leaderboard change, you can still play the game. It doesn't affect that many people. Even even Clash and the Ramatra block issue, like, most people aren't that competitive to where like it really affects them. We all like to think that we're the person that can just hop on the game and judge our enjoyment based on what's in front of us, but most of us aren't that person. The reality is we like to be involved with the community. We like to hear what people are saying. If you're watching this video, you're probably that person. You're listening to what I'm saying. And when everyone's feeling bad about the game, that spreads and it snowballs. Like when Season 15 came out. The game was fun. We were all hyped. Pressing play on the Battle.net launcher felt good, right? Because everyone's hyped about the game. You're on the home screen, you're geeked. You actually want to queue up because everyone's talking about it. Everyone's having fun. It spreads, but unfortunately that goes both ways. And so it's important to keep the vibes good. Now, the last example I want to go over is balance. Now, balance can be very subjective, but I want to try to avoid that here. Now, I mentioned earlier that Blizzard usually puts out good, high-quality content, which is
Usually.
true.
My ad blocker's like doing nothing anymore.
But the quality of the battle pass skins doesn't really matter if the game isn't fun to play. Skins aren't the game, and a simple variable change to a hero's numbers can greatly affect how the game plays. Patch notes are important. That's what I'm trying to get at. Patch notes are the game. Now, I want to stress that there will never be a perfect patch note, right? There will always be a meta. There's always characters that you're going to find annoying to play against. Everyone has a different play style. So something you might find frustrating to play against, other people might enjoy. The purpose of balancing the game is to not find this magical patch note. The purpose is to keep the game fresh. The way Blizzard does their patch schedule is at the start of a new season, they do a big patch, and in the middle of the season, they have like a mid-season patch to kind of tweak things. At least that's what it's supposed to be. Except we have not gotten this big patch in forever. We've had Nothing Burger patches the past 8-9 months. It's been a long time. It's been a couple seasons. You know, every patch is going to have its annoying aspects. That'll always be true. But what is not okay is when a new season drops and nothing changes. A new season should feel new, not just in the skins, but in the gameplay. The thing that annoyed you last season and was turbo OP, you shouldn't have to worry about this season. You know, there's probably something new that's annoying, but hey, at least it's fresh. That's how hero shooters go. There's always something annoying. There's no worse feeling in the world than when you wake up, it's a new season, you get on, you check the patch notes, and you realize it's a Nothing Burger. And the feeling of despair sets in as you realize that the shit you dealt with all of last season, there's another 2 months of that. And that's when the complaining in the community gets bad. You know, people always complain about balance. I'm not saying that'll stop happening. People always find something to be mad about. But when something's bad, and then a new season happens,
gosh,
and it doesn't get fixed,
their
that's when the complaining gets really loud.
right now.
Because, you know, it's one thing to have something OP or whatever. It's another thing when it was already supposed to be fixed. When you're on, like, Season 3 of this hero being OP. That's when it's like, okay, I'm not just being an annoying complainer now. Like, this should actually be addressed. And so, the cycle of negativity continues. I'm careful to get into specifics, because, you know, balance is subjective. But a great example is Zarya. People don't like her. She's banned in every rank, from champ to bronze to plat. People are banning Zarya. She's been strong for a really long time, and she hasn't really been touched. She's survived like 8 patch notes, like 3 new seasons where you're like, oh, Zarya's good again. I think she's received like maybe a slap on the wrist, which almost feels worse because it's like, oh, we acknowledge it, but we're not gonna change it. Like, didn't they just like change her perk that one time? They like nerfed a perk. All right, bro. And if you ask somebody about the state of Overwatch right now, the first thing they're gonna say is Zarya, or something similar. They're not gonna mention something positive. It's the first thing that comes to mind because it's the only thing that's been on their mind. It's the thing that's right in front of them in all their games for the past, I don't know how long. It's the thing they ban every time. They don't forget to ban it. So how are they gonna forget about it? Even Frogger's complaining. He's like the most positive guy I know. It's the top of his list. And to clarify, this isn't just about Zarya. If Zarya's meta for a season, that's fine. Just nerf for the next season. If we're tired of Zarya, allow us to forget about her next season. Nerf her into obscurity, and then slowly bring her back up to a balanced state afterwards. That gives us time to get over it, forget about it, and then like the season after, she's like solid again. Not meta again, but I think that's a good thing to do with any hero. Like if Ram is turbo OP, nerf the hell out of Ram the next season. And we get to forget about Ram. He's no longer in our face the season after. It's refreshing.
It's just,
and then
the zombies that come
that,
from the right ruin it.
Start. You know, just buff him a little bit the next few patch notes and get him back to like a balanced state. I think it's a good system. But when you let a character that nobody likes dominate for that long, like people are over it. And they're not in the wrong for complaining. And then that just dominates the Overwatch discourse. And that's all we're talking about. Is how much we hate Zarya and how Zarya still hasn't been nerfed. Instead of talking about good things. And it's so fixable. It's just a patch note. You just change some variables. Also, another thing to talk about is Sombra. Sombra's not even a good hero. The high rank players don't even ban Sombra. If you tell a high rank player that you struggle with Sombra, they'll call you a noob. I'm guilty of that. But even I can recognize that people don't just ban her for a reason. If a majority of the player base has decided that they want to use up a valuable ban on this hero just because they find it annoying, then it needs to be looked at. It needs to be changed, and soon. It's unreasonable to expect people to get good enough until Sombra no longer annoys them, because there's always going to be beginner and intermediate players. And I think it's ridiculous that there isn't urgency here. This is the game. This is what people are playing. That they're spending however many 20 hours a week playing. And they've been banning Sombra for the past how long? I mean, since bans were a thing. And they were complaining about Sombra before that as well. They don't want to play against Sombra, and she's still here to this day. Why is this not more urgent? Like, clearly they care. They care enough to ban her every game, but Blizzard doesn't care. And so Sombra is going to continue to be complained about. And we're just going to hear about Sombra complaints instead of anything good Overwatch is doing. Also, I realized, like, while recording this, they actually have announced the Sombra reworks. It's based off of, like, a screenshot from a Discord that Questrom posted. So not the best communication here. But they said they're looking to do a major rework, which, at this point, I'm gonna have to see it to believe it. They fumbled so many summer reworks already. And also, this screenshot is from August. And we've had basically radio silence since. I think they just started to, like, tease it, which it kind of rubs me the wrong way that they're treating the rework like it's content. It's like, dude, like, this is just respecting your player base. Like, this should have been done months ago. And now we're like, oh, guys, who's excited for the Sombra rework? It's like, can we not address this sooner? Like, I understand reworks take time, but, like, you can do something in the meantime. At least try, communicate as you're doing the rework. Fucking Valter, I don't know. Like, people are upset. Address it. Also, maybe the most important thing I want to discuss regarding balance and Overwatch's PR problem. I talked earlier about how Blizzard takes too long to nerf OP heroes. This has permanently destroyed the reputation of some of their new heroes. Easiest example is Mauga. Now, I'm not saying that Mauga's hero design is perfect by any means, but the reality is he was just broken on launch. He was broken for a long time. He should have been nerfed within days, and they let that run rampant for months. And not only is that a huge balancing issue, which is laughably bad, but it ruined the character's reputation permanently. People see Mauga as like a stain on the game, as a mistake. And, like, he's not that bad. He was just overpowered. Like, his character design isn't horrible. Sure, his guns do a lot of damage, but he also has the weakness of a giant hitbox. You can't just be constantly peeking. The changes they made to his cardiac overdrive are good. It's counterable. If you deny him from doing damage during it, he can't get his health back up. He's very susceptible to poke. And his overrun is, like, one of the most fun abilities in the game. It's a really fun and goofy skill shot. Right? I mean, it takes skill. I'm not the biggest fan of his ult. I think they should change it. But, like, what I'm getting at is Mauga is not the devil. He was just turbo OP and ruined everyone's perception of him, and that will never be fixed. And that we only get a new hero every 4 months. Overwatch puts so much effort into the new heroes to flesh them out, their design, the character design. Like, Overwatch heroes are so good. That's why the game is good. And for all of that to go to waste because they failed to balance it in the first few months, and what should be, you know, a positive, a new content release, a new hero, gets turned into the worst PR that Overwatch 2's ever had, and it's ruined to this day. People who currently play Overwatch still hate Mauga. Outsiders see Mauga as a stain on the game, and the same thing is happening to Freya. Freya's design is honestly pretty solid. I don't really think that should be a hot take. She's not that complicated of a hero. She's more on the simple side, which is fine. I like that we have some heroes like that. She's a smooth hero to play. The movement on her feels good. She's fluid. It works. The issue isn't her design. It's just that she's overpowered, and has been for almost a year at this point. She got like an alright patch recently this season, but they let her run rampant for 8 months, and the entire community grew to despise her. Everyone hates Freya, and so much hard work by the dev team just kind of goes to waste because the balance team doesn't monitor it and make changes quickly. And to clarify, I have no expectation of a character being balanced on launch. I think that's an impossible expectation to have. It's really hard to balance characters and figure out how good they are immediately. But what is completely reasonable to expect is for them to closely monitor and adjust their new product as it comes out. That is common sense, and we failed to do so. I still don't think Freya's been addressed as a hero. The recent patch was the closest thing we've had, but people are still upset with her. I think, like I said before, I think she needs to be like bad for a bit. Let people forget about Freya for a while, and then kind of slowly bring her back up so they can like enjoy her as a hero again. Now, I do realize that this video is poorly timed because season 21 is right around the corner. For those who don't know, season 21 is like their big yearly update, similar to season 15 last year. So this is going to mean new weapon finishes and big gameplay changes that they haven't announced yet. Now with this, they will probably release a meaningful patch note. And hell, they'll probably release the summer rework in season 21. This doesn't change any of my points, because if the communication, responsiveness, and attention to detail don't improve, it'll go exactly like season 15, where there's a lot of hype at first, but it started to fade away as they didn't fix the minor problems that mattered and built up. I think that if Blizzard really shows love to the game at every level, the Season 21 hype can carry throughout the entire year. A smaller thing I wanted to talk about was people saying that Stadium has been taking away from the main game. Now, people notice that Stadium gets a lot of love. They get quick patches, they get a lot of balance changes. They even vaulted Tracer when she was bugged. Meanwhile, it feels like the rest of the game is just being neglected or ignored. Now, the thing I want to remind everyone of is it doesn't have to be the normal game versus Stadium. We can have both. Stadium has their own separate team from the main game, and clearly the Stadium team has a lot of passion and love for what they've created. So, if anything, I think the Stadium team should be the role model for the rest of the game. They love their game mode, they treat it nice, they're quick to respond to things. We should do that with the entire game. It doesn't have to be normal game versus Stadium. We can have both. Also, one little asterisk, Stadium does pull resources from the mapping team. So that's a valid point. I don't really mind, I think it's fine. But, yeah. Also, one last thing I want to talk about is with 6v6, they said that they're no longer going to do patches specific to 6v6. Now, I am not a 6v6 truther at all, but I have been playing it a little bit recently, and the one thing I've learned about their player base is there is no world in which they're playing 5v5. They hate 5v5. You're not going to convince them. And it's got a pretty decent player base. So, like, why not just give them some patch notes specific to their mode? Show them some love. Why not? Why not make them happy? It doesn't take them any resources to give them a patch note once a season. So yeah, I might have gotten caught up in the examples too much and complained more than I meant to.
Okay, thanks. I can't move because of the dog, of all things in the map. I love it when the super small dog is the thing that, like, prevents me from doing anything. I love that so much. Hi! I'm, like, super mad at this game right now. I'm not in a good mood. I hate the dogs on this map so much. They ruin everything. They absolutely ruin everything about every map ever. The only time anyone is ever like, oh boy, a dog spawned, is when it's on a dog round. Other than that, no one enjoys them. I've never heard a single soul be like, oh boy, round 15, I can't wait for dogs to start spawning. No. No one's ever said that. No one's ever said that in the history of ever. I hate them. I hate them everywhere. I hate the dogs. I hate the dogs so much. If I could remove one thing from this map, it would not even be the electric zombies. You could theoretically get to a higher round without them. It would only be the dogs. Not the pushers, not anything. Just the dogs. I wouldn't get rid of a single other thing. I hate this. Oh my gosh. I just want to be at insta-kills already. I just want to be at insta-kills and... This guy right here. I'm so happy for this guy's existence. He's like, let me push you. Let me push you. Yeah. Let me just like push you out of the... It's kind of funny, but... Look Like, that's still 1,000 times better than any dog spawns in this game. Yeah, they push you out of the ring, they push you out of your area, and then they just, yep. And then they stick to you. It's like they jump on your back, piggyback ride you all around. And that's still somehow more fun to play against than any dog has ever been. I can't think of in many times where I actually died to something that's not a zombie, or that's not a dog, or the zombies are the ones that I rarely get killed by zombies anymore. I didn't know that was the end of the round. I hate this game. I hate this game so much. This game sucks. This game sucks, man. I hate this game. Please be a max. Oh, thank you. I should have slept more. I should have not played this. I don't know. It's getting up to max, yeah. At least it's something. It means I won't have to do any ammo trade until way later in the round, which will be nice. I hear magic, but I don't know what it is. Probably anything important. I'm ready for insta kills. I'm done with this part. Alright, what to watch? What on earth to watch? The 500 million failure of the Overwatch League? Worst esports disaster ever? No. COD Zombies has lost its identity. Oh my gosh, is another person talking in front of a green screen with a microphone that has a mustache? No way. That's like super niche and like.
Everyone has that.
It
one game they
is!
remember
No
from their
way!
childhood. I mean, yes, we all had multiple games we played, but I'm willing to bet that you have one game in particular that you fucking remember. I'm talking Mountain Dew drinking, Hot Pocket eating,
Holy
playing
Southern.
until the sun comes up, and you know your mom's gonna
I
come
love
in
this.
getting pissed at you because you spent way too long playing games. Now, for a lot of you, that's probably WoW or Modern Warfare or even fucking Peggle. I don't know, maybe Castle Crashers, go to the game. But for me, that was.
That's like kind of a thing in YouTube. Maybe I'm just like in a bad mood this morning. I have no idea. As a Southwesterner. Or Southerner, yeah. Oh, I'm not Southern. I mean, South Missouri, but that's about it. My dad is super Southern, accent and everything. He's from Alabama originally. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a hateful and not so jolly mood this morning. But, you know, the type of video that I'm kind of over with, or what you see in videos is when people will say, to understand X, we first need to go back to the beginning of time and explain every single thing in the universe. We first need to explain this very niche or this very vague concept, or I don't know, it'll be something like that. To understand this, to understand X, we first need to Y. I hate that. I hate that so much. I don't know why it gets on my nerves. At first, it was good. You know, at first it was fine, but I don't know if it's just been overdone or something in videos. Like, I feel like that's going to be said here. That's going to be said here. At some point in the next 2 minutes in this video, it'll be said.
COD Zombies. It didn't
To
matter if
understand
it was
X,
World
we
at
first
War
need to
or Black
Y.
Ops 3, that's what I was doing.
I'm out. Camera.
I'm out. 1.3 seconds.
Aiden, do you have Wonderwolf still?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm a train. I'm dead.
Oh, never mind. Rip that guy.
You fucked yourself. You just fucked yourself.
Am I in the fucking... I can't get out of there.
That is where he wants to be. It's the hallway. Dude.
I'm taking these
Learning the story of Takio, Richtofen, Dempsey, and Nikolai. And
Takio.
these guys too. But mainly the
Takio, I
ghosts.
love
I mean,
that.
these guys pretty much raised me. Yeah, they were all stereotypes, but fuck you. Anyway, this game really raised me, fuck you. This game really raised me in a way that I cannot explain. I looked forward to every DLC release. Whenever the new trailer released for every DLC, I would lose my mind and be like, Mom, please, this one has the presidents in it, and it's in the fucking Pentagon. It's just the storm, Dick. Calm down. War That War was the one that started it all. And Zombies wasn't even originally really supposed to be like a fully fleshed out game mode. It was kind of a joke that you unlocked after beating the campaign. And yet it blew everybody away. The first map was Nocturne on Toten, and it was simple and small, but my god, the atmosphere. I was 4 whenever I watched my brother play this game in 2008.
Hold on, this guy
and
not
I
do
played it
the
by
thing
myself, and it scared the shit
to
out
understand
of
the
me.
X we first
The
must
eyes
Y.
in the fog, that random brick wall.
my gosh,
that
this might be the
zombies could
best
rip
YouTuber
through.
ever
I knew
then.
there was a zombie back there, but I couldn't fucking prove it. It was like Schrodinger's zombie. I just waited for him. The mystery box was fascinating, with everyone running in between rounds trying to get the holy grail that was the ray gun. Looking back at it, the ray gun had absolutely no context being in Call of Duty, but now the Call of Duty franchise wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah.
What do you get?
He got it.
These microphones
the
are
ray
a
gun.
little too
Fuck.
quality. Let me go. Hold on. Order to X, we must Y. I don't think he's gonna say that. That's actually gonna make me so happy. Let's go Cambrodia. That's actually a crazy username. I love it. Cambrodia.
Oh my god, I got the M1A1 carbine. Do you have a ray gun? I want to hear it. I can't buy this. I just heard a biplane fly by my window.
Everyone would set up camp in the second story, and the zombies would just funnel in through that doorway in that window, but god damn, if you bought that fucking staircase on the other side, you doomed your team to failure. You don't do that shit. Also, one thing that's always bothered me about this map was the little cabinet. If you buy it, you just get a sniper. But it's odd to me that it was framed in such a way. Like, why not just put a wall by there instead? Why is it a cabinet? And it's the only thing like that in Zombies, which I think makes it even more odd. But World at War had so many maps that were hard to forget, and specifically Verrückt. Verrückt scared the shit out of me whenever I was younger. Those little spots you could go to and hear odd noises that weren't quite right and shouldn't be there, like people screaming, or the general atmosphere that makes it feel like actual hell. Nothing felt right, especially whenever you would spawn in for the first time expecting to see all your buddies there, and then you would just not fucking be next to them. Hey man, you gotta turn the power so I can. Yeah. Verrückt added perks. No, not those kind. Come on, get your 6-7 ass humor out of here. And it changed the game, adding Juggernaut, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and Quick Revive. It was basically knocked on steroids, even creepier though.
Hey, Sergeant, I'm geek.
Sergeant, I'm geek.
No, fuck.
Sergeant, I regret to inform you, I'm geeking. I'm geeking. Hey, Sergeant, you're gonna dig my butt. We gotta go save him. We gotta go save him. What's wrong with your friends? Are you geeking or something? He's not geeking. Don't say that. News man.
I like this guy's laugh.
But it seemed like the COD developers were taking zombies more seriously and fully fleshing it out, as the community really did have a demand for it. After the Wonderwolf came in and people were like, holy shit, what's gonna come next? Then Shino Numa came. And my god. While Verrucht and Noct mainly focused on adding to your arsenal with the ray gun and the Wonderwolf and the perks, Shino Numa expanded upon the map, allowing for gondola and different traps. It also contributed to my young developing gambling addiction, not only with the box, that was already a thing. In every map before this, the perks had a preset location where they would in fact spawn. In Shino Numa, they changed that to where it changed whatever shack it spawned in every round. So you no longer had the preset ball knowledge of knowing where the perks were going to be. You didn't get to know where Jug and Speed was off rip due to ball knowledge, man, come on. Coaches don't play. But that don't mean they don't got ball. So you and your friends would just fumble through the fucking map hoping to find the perk that you needed first, and whoever was gonna get the Wonderwall first. It was always me. And the damn dogs were added. However, the upside to this is now you can get max ammo every couple of rounds.
That's the only good
every
part.
like 5 to 10 rounds for me and Oz. I don't know the exact number. Leave it in the comments. So you get fucking engagement right there, guys. Also, funny thing about this map in particular is it has a weird zombie spawn limit that wasn't really seen in any of the other maps. Like 24. This is only with the World at War version of Shino Numa, which was so odd to me. I think because of this, the highest round ever in COD Zombies is typically on Shino Numa, and I think currently it's at like 11,843. I definitely didn't look that up or anything, I just knew that off the top of my head. While Derice is 255, and that's on Black Ops 3, so needless to say, this map is an anomaly in a lot of ways. This also had the first kind of visual sightings we had seen of Element 115 in the form of meteors. And all of us were like, holy shit, Mom, the lore is changing. Mom, you don't get it, but this meteor changes everything. It felt like on every map, the devs were finding their footing, taking whatever they had learned from the last map and expanding upon it, and then they put all of that vitamin Z they had just made in a blender, fucking blended it, shook it up, put it on the table, snorted that shit, and Derice came out. Yes, we played as the Ultimates crew for the first time in the previous maps, however, we were getting characters named directly on the whiteboards within the map in a basic lore premise. I mean, the fact that the map takes place in a Nazi base kind of tells us all we need to know. Teleporters were added to unlock Pack-a-Punch because Pack-a-Punch is a thing now, which if you don't know, I'm going to explain it, but you probably know if you're here.
Dude, this is
Pack-a-Punch is a
an
device you
hour.
use whenever your gun fucking blows. You pay $5 grand, you put your gun in there, it crunches it up, and then spits it back out with a cool camo, and it does way more damage and has way more swag. Having to link 3 main teleporters to the mainframe in the middle of the map, and then Pack-a-Punch unlocks and you can use it. You can also use the teleporters too to get there whenever you're stuck, but everyone knows in Derice you hold that one, you know what I'm talking about, you hold that one balcony.
Why y'all doing so good, but so bad at the same time? Round 31!
Hold the stairs. No, you gotta hold the stairs. Hold the stairs. Just hold the stairs.
Literally holding it.
Yo, what's going on? Yo, what's going on the stairs? Yo, they were not good. They're pushing into me.
This basically built the zombie community into a frenzy when they focused so heavily on world building and the dogs and Samantha and Maxis in this map. Everyone was wondering what was going to happen next, and it's going to get really good and then really wacky in a bad way. Now, Black Ops 1 was already most likely going to be a commercial. There's some areas in this map that I had never been able to...
Oh, he stops at BO3. What do you mean, zombie? If you okay, maybe I just need to watch the full video, but the video only goes really up to BO3. It looks like. Eh. Oh, look at that. Already won. My luck has been pretty decent so far. It's only first 8 hours of this, but you know. Okay, cool. Thank you, HDMI cable. I appreciate it. Nice. I love that. I love it. It's the best. I'm like, yeah, woohoo, I love it. I love when my HDMI cable does whatever the heck that is, and I can't see. Holy trades, man. I didn't grab snowballs. There we go. Thank you, dog. Oh my gosh, you couldn't have showed up at a better time. Thank you, dog, for absolutely ruining the easiest chain I had of my life there. That was amazing. I love it. I love it. I love the way the dog comes in. It's like, I'm the dog. I'm going to ruin your chain. And then that's it. Hi. Dog instincts, they chase anything that you throw at them. Oh my gosh. I hate them though. Like, that's the thing. I just don't like them though. I just want to be at 163 already. I want to be able to shut off my brain for a few rounds, for like 2 hours, 3 hours. We all want 163? Yeah. I want 163. I want to be teleported, like, directly to 362. I would like to go instantly to 362. And not have to worry about ever doing anything than knifing. I got another 100 hours until that, though. 102 hours, 103. Realistically, about a month until I'm there. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I remember that guy. Blame Truth, the Codfather. This guy is just, it's like the biggest Debbie... I am a Debbie Downer right now. But this guy is like, his YouTube channel is about being a Debbie Downer. I haven't watched him in a long time because all that ever was being done was, I think, just Call of Duty, this and that. Like, yeah, I agree, but...
Blame Truth here, and I hope everyone had a great holiday, great Christmas, great Hanukkah, great whatever you want to celebrate. I personally just kind of watched Seinfeld and played classic NES and SNES games and watched a lot of wrestling, professional wrestling. It's been a great time. pretty much. I've avoided Call of Duty. I've avoided Battlefield, which I'll get into more of that a little bit later. I've avoided, dare I say, just everything that's come out in the last 20 years or so. And it has been just such a stress relief. But here I am, today, back on...
Yeah, I think I'm my time with competitive games in the sense of, like, actual player versus player is coming to an end pretty soon. I find that I really don't enjoy them that much anymore. PvP. The only one I even enjoy still in the slightest is Overwatch, and that's it. That's just because, you know, you get to be heroes and do whatever you get to fly around as Mercy and whatnot. But I don't know. I've been really enjoying these like farming games. I like the super grindy farming games. That's like that's the whole point of the game. So
Reddit, back on Twitter, X, whatever the hell this stupid billionaire fuck is calling it nowadays. And I you know what? Just a bunch of toxic social media sites, instantly my mood drops.
yeah.
But I saw one thing, and I'm going to cover a lot in this video actually, but I saw one thing in particular that just pissed me right the fuck off. So without further ado, let's get right on into the meat and potatoes here because motherfuckers, I got a lot I want to get off my chest. So there I am, searching the deadest Call of Duty subreddit of all time in r/Black Ops 7, and I see this post. I see this post from several days ago, and let me just read it for you here, okay?
Oh no.
Happy holidays. Let's talk Christmas noobs. It's that time of year when plenty of new players join the online ranks for the first time. And if you're one of them, good news. We have algorithmic manipulative skill-based matchmaking that we're hiding in both oh, sorry, that's not what they're saying. Excuse me. Hit the firing range to get up to speed, and before you know it, you'll be a noob no more. Good luck out there. When I saw that these clowns at Treyarch posted this, in an effort to nostalgia bait yet again, and I'll explain a little bit later on, I got irrationally angry. Their half measure, a skill-based matchmaking protected bracket playlist, but also a slightly less, but
Yeah. Actually, I don't have anything to say on that.
but not really skill-based matchmaking playlist. I mean, with these two things in play, there are no noobs. The noobs don't have to worry about anything. This is just yet another fucking lie on top of the mountain of them.
This is pure
that these
vitriolic
people
hatred coming from
can't
this guy's
stop
mouth.
feeding us. Guys, let me ask you something in
This
the
is
comments
pure
section below
hatred
here.
from
Feel
the
free to
heart.
answer and be honest, okay? No judgments here. Do you honestly give a shit about Call of Duty anymore? Like this year in particular?
No.
No one fucking does.
I
Because
didn't.
they keep doing this. Like anyone with a brain is not buying this stuff. They're over it. I actually looked at my last two videos and Call of Duty is like barely mentioned. Hell, you guys know that I would do a video every single day, like every Christmas. I would do a video every single day from November to December, and I would do this no matter how bad the Call of Duty game was. But this year in particular, with Black Ops 7...
See, I was actually a fan of Cold War. I love that one. I think there is, hear me out, all right? It's gonna sound crazy. There is substance to Vanguard Zombies. And if you leaned into the mechanics of that game and gave it another year in the crock pot before you served it, I think that game could have been fairly strong. I don't think there wasn't, I can see the idea. But it just didn't play out well. I think Vanguard's where I stopped caring for me personally. Like I got BO6, sure, but I didn't really enjoy it all that much. But Cold War, I loved it. I loved Cold War.
I would rather drag my ball sack across broken glass than cover Black Ops 7 every single day.
Yep.
I would rather have Mike Tyson use my scrotum as a speed bag than cover Black Ops 7 every day
real? Is this
for the holiday season. I would rather arm wrestle a meat grinder with one arm while playing E.T. on Atari with the other arm while standing on 2 fire ant hills while the ghost of Stonewall Jackson shoves a bayonet up my asshole. Then cover Black Ops 7 all day.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Season. You know what? Let's get back to the news here, okay?
He might, have small hunch. I have a feeling.
I mean, we have covered on this channel.
He may not be a fan of Black Ops 7.
The matchmaking being
Flame
carried
Truth
over
Godfather.
From the beta.
Yep.
I knew they would. They lied about it being.
I actually haven't watched this guy in like eons, right? So I'm like, oh, I really wonder. I really wonder what he's up to. So I watched the video, and this is. I am not disappointed right now. This is pretty funny. This is like making me happy listening to this. Okay, my chaining's been awful this morning. I can't do anything. I'm like awful.
Only playlist at launch or whatever. They lied about how it works. They just continue to bullshit us. And even when they do tell the truth, we're not going to believe them. I mean, this is a COD Pro here. What is this, like 2 days ago? That said, I don't care what Treyarch says, the SBMM is the worst that it's ever been. And they're trying to convince me that it's not the case. My conspiracy is that this is the highest SBMM has ever been, says Octane. Pro player. What more do you fucking want on top of exclusive Ace testing things, on top of Nero covering it, on top of me covering it, and diving even deeper into stuff? Everything they say is just utter bullshit. So why does this in particular make me so mad? I should be used to them lying.
Modern Warfare 3 was fine. I thought that was actually the general sentiment as well. I heard that it had a very rough launch, the multiplayer, but apparently the multiplayer was like actually really solid in it. It kind of had like the World War II treatment where the multiplayer was kind of scuffed at first, but it became like really good afterwards, later on in the life cycle. I have no idea. I stopped buying games for the multiplayer after MW or Modern Warfare 2 2022. I will say though, Modern Warfare 2 2022 has the best campaign I have ever played in my life. That is the best campaign I have ever played. And it's not even close. The best mission in all of Call of Duty is that mission alone. That is the best mission of all time, alone. It is like the magnum opus of like newer generation Call of Duty campaign levels.
But not only is this a lie, this is something else they do constantly, and that is nostalgia baiting. When I saw this, I knew exactly what they were referencing, and it's from Black Ops 2. And I'm going to cover that and more. We got a huge problem I need to cover here among the Call of Duty and Battlefield community, the FPS community in general, because it's all just dying right before our eyes. But I'm going to go over the Black Ops 2 thing they were referencing first after a brief word from this video's sponsor.
Oh no, what's the sponsor?
Today's video is sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. CyberGhost is my VPN of choice, and to be quite frank, I think
crazy though.
You see, all the way back in 2012, Treyarch said this when there was no manipulation in the matchmaking whatsoever. Let's talk Christmas noobs. It's that time of year again where thousands of new players join the online ranks for the first time. We'd ask you to go easy on the Christmas noobs, but we know you won't. If you are a Christmas noob yourself, now get this, don't be bullied. In the combat training category, you'll find a great playlist called Boot Camp! Boot Camp! This is the best place for a new player to get up to speed on the game and all it has to offer. You can even rank.
Yeah, I think
your
there's always
first
been
10
skill-based
levels
to an
playing
extent.
against both human and AI control.
I will say, though, I believe it is way more noticeable now than ever before. My friends and I in Cold War, we would purposely tank like 5 to 6 games in a row on Cold War. And it was such a visible, like, obvious difference between that and trying. Like, I'm telling you, we would get people, I swear they did not have headsets on, you know. You could walk up behind them, all around them, and they wouldn't know you were there. It's not so much that the skill is different, it's just the actual awareness is different. And that's how we would do our melee weapons and our launchers.
Old opponents.
I did not temporarily insta, no.
For those that don't remember, Boot Camp is a game mode in combat training that appears in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, where one lone player fights a score of bots. In order to help the player get a good start in real multiplayer, XP is given for the player to level up in this mode until they reach level 11. Then it will be locked. Call of Duty World at War also had something similar, but a little less handholdy. So in World at War, it was team deathmatch only, designed for lower leveled players in mind to get them acquainted with multiplayer. After the player passes level 8, the player may not enter this game mode.
I forget how, what game did it? Was it, I think, Battlefield 6, was it? No, it wasn't Battlefield 6. It was another game. They, allowed you to play a certain game. Oh, it was X-Defiant. That's what it was. It was X-Defiant, that game, that Relic. I actually really enjoyed that. Oh, well, I didn't expect that. They made a playlist where if you were under level, like, 10 or something like that, then you had a certain playlist you could play in. After that, you were locked out of it. Which I thought was really good.
And it is grayed out on the playlist selection. Going over the
yeah, I
playlist
enjoyed
gives
it.
the message locked at Corporal 2 level 8. They figured out the fucking solution to this problem. You know, decades ago, guys. Decades ago at this point. And to give us this nostalgia-baiting fucking message, like this game can even hold Black Ops 2's jock strap, is an insult!
Dude, he is
to not only the
so-
intelligence of everyone playing the fucking game, but everyone who did not play the fucking game this year, did not buy the game this year. Absolute disgusting, nostalgia-baiting horse shit! And I'm sorry for yelling, and maybe I shouldn't be so angry at this, but if I were playing Black Ops 7 and I logged in and I saw this, I would immediately uninstall the game. You are insulting my intelligence. You are insulting a much better game. You are trying to conjure up the member berries. The only berries you will be conjuring out of me, Activision, is my balls as they drop on your forehead. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of my face with this trash.
It's just some pretty good
is it not
insults.
enough that your game is dead, all but dead? Is it not enough that your game launched and is like the least played Call of Duty game of all time, as far as I know? Is that not enough? Can you just be honest with us for once in your life? Now that things are horrifically bad, can you be honest with us? The answer, of course, is going to be yes, but that's going to be a lie. So what?
Wonders if he had any voice cracks or had ever taken a breather. And I don't know. I don't think so. This guy sounds like a professional. I can't even lie. He sounds like he's a professional at just I don't know, yelling and being like super mad like this. He knows what to say and how to say it perfectly. It's crazy. I will say that he does have. I mean, there has to be an ounce of truth to what he's saying, though, right? Like the video's got what 116,000 views on it. 117 posted 3 days ago. There's got to at least be some part of truth in there. So. I don't know. Oh. Okay. Oh, I completely forgot about that. All right. Here. I will be back in like a little bit, like 20 minutes. Give me like 20, 30 minutes. I'll be back. I know it's like all of a sudden, I know. While I'm repeating his points made. Yeah. So I'll be I'll keep the stream going, but I'll be back here in a little bit. So yeah. Okay, there we go. Took a while. I was doing a thing. And I also have to go into work an hour early, so I only have like another 30 minutes to play, so... Hooray! We all say in unison? Alrighty. Whatever, we'll...
Jason Effects is an artist in the furry fandom known for his NSFW art pieces of a multitude of characters.
Wow, we're going straight into
This
it.
is how furries get popular from within that fandom. He became very well known within those ranks, and even hosted a series of podcasts on his YouTube channel during the initial claim to fame before shutting it down. His name will become mired with controversy sooner or later as expected from this side of the internet, because let's just say just because he's a good artist, it doesn't mean he's a good person. Shout out to the Patreon members as always, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by checking out the link below or in the corner. With that being said, let's jump right into everything, because there's a lot we gotta go over. Jason Effects and his internet presence started sometime in 2010 by posting Team Fortress 2 related content on YouTube, and even made some NSFW fan art of the Power character as well. It would come out that these pieces are actually traced from other artworks, with him responding as such when called out about it in a thread in February 2012, saying that people do it all the time and yada yada yada. This lack of actual art skill despite branding himself as an artist wouldn't stop him, however, as he would become popular for making a multitude of furry porn animations starting February 1st, 2012.
Insane.
He would post a shit ton of these animations using other pieces of artwork and would soon become a popular figure in the furry fandom, gaining upwards of 5 million page views on the site for Affinity as of today. As he started to gain money from this hobby, he would start to draw his own artwork and animations. However, it would come out that his girlfriend Kabir was doing the actual drawings themselves, he was just doing the animations in After Effects and posting them on the internet for sweet clout. Granted, the animations did credit the actual artist and whatnot, so while not egregious or anything, the fact he doesn't really do any of the legwork himself is none too surprising when remembering the TF2 tracing. In fact, this recurring theme of not really being the actual worker would become more apparent as time went on, as he would end up launching a dating game sim named Amorous to much fanfare, only for people to find out he wasn't really doing much work at all. Kabir is the one drawing the assets to be used, and he would outsource the coding and whatnot if people have actual experience making games. Things wouldn't go smoothly, however, as people were leaving the project due to poor management, with someone coming out that he did 1,300 hours of work for only $3,000 as he publicly quit on Twitter in January 2018. A handful of emails and Discord DMs will leak out, and while most of it is just a bunch of bitching and moaning about how each of them have shitty lives and stressors and call each other gaslighters and such, an email from Kabir hints that he was actually paid $3.5K for all his work, alongside more complaining about how her life sucks more. Basically, to sum it up, all three of them playing the oppression Olympics, and Rupert was mad Jason was unprofessional with him. To be fair here, Rupert worked for about 2 months total in terms of literal hours, and assuming he spent half the day working and the other half sleeping, it's safe to say he spent 4 months of his time on the project. I don't know much about indie game development, but that's definitely on the smaller side in terms of payment and hours worked. And so this was the first real look at Jason in a light that wasn't people praising him constantly, which got people looking to him further. Now of course alongside Kabir's email was also Jason's email that was leaked, which shows the guy talking down to the former employee in question and just being an overall dick to him because he quit after their petty argument on Discord. It's full of a bunch of needless jabs at the guy for no reason other than to epically own someone after pissing him off in Discord.
Got him.
Given this wasn't part of the initial argument they had, but rather afterwards when both parties were calmed down by this point, it shows that Jason at the very least has this need to make someone feel below him in order to satiate his own ego. The situation overall, to put it bluntly, was on the more tamer side of things, as nothing here was of actual interest save for Jason being a dick, but people take a look at it and start to notice some patterns with the man. This email wasn't the only time Jason was seen arguing over virtually nothing, as before this he was known on going on the site E621 and arguing with anyone who called his work trash. There was even an instance where people started to mass downvote one of his comics because the writing was bad, and he would bitch at the mod.
I never did finish this video.
I don't think anyone thought you were a normal, healthy, married couple. I don't think anyone thought that. Fox was crawling and vomiting on the floor and wearing my jewelry, necklace, bracelet, when my mother went with me to pick up more of my things so that I could move into an apartment. I pawned the wedding ring he gave me that he would rub and obsess over. Don't forget I brought you this for a little over $100 on the first day living by myself. Damn, bro was a cheapskate. Fox would stick to a narrative that I had no agency of my own and that I was stolen property for months, quickly adopting the facade of a wholesome Christian father figure and lying about having children children. Fox had little to no interest in religious beliefs prior to the divorce. So the guy straight up pulled like an Andrew Tate Sneeko type thing, just pretending he was a part of a religion, although I guess in this case it was, you know, trying to save his furry marriage or something. Fox insisted that if I did not give him children of his own, that he would satisfy the craving by other means. We fostered a 17-year-old teenager for a few months leading up to the You fostered a child? Who allowed you to raise a child? That child is up forever now. We never adopted her out of DHS custody and we're under monthly review. She is now an adult and moved out to live with a healthier, loving family. I know shit. No one should ever live with you ever. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I was not visited or contacted by her since we lived together for that brief period of time. Fox would send a plethora of letters and phone calls that gradually transitioned from denial to threats, all of which I kept for safekeeping. Some of these threats detailed how he would never stop, would pursue me until death, and that if I leave,
No dogs? Okay.
I would pay dearly and he would ensure suffering would come my way. He would then tweet how he loved me seconds later on social media playing a sociopathic game. Why is this like highlighted? Is it highlighted so like they can define it later on with like a table of contents? Dictionary, glossary. Fox would spend the majority of his time conspiring and obsessing over my life, taking over my Peace Wolf fan disc. Oh, how horrible. He took over the Discord. It's awful. Hacking into my Twitch account during live streams, harassing my friends and turning the convention domain into ransomware, among other attacks on my reputation. This escalated to hopping the security fence at my apartment complex and stealing my car on my birthday, going as far as to break the wheel lock I had left on it despite already having a vehicle of his own. This too got the attention of security, the apartment complex, and my parents, who stormed down to complain. He stole your Mustang? That sucks. Fox then promptly drove the car out of state to harass another board member of the convention, to extort them, standing on the front porch and blocking them from entering their home. Fortunately, a third party was able to record the confrontation, getting Fox's face and accomplice on camera, as well as photos of the stolen car and a restraining order. These power moves would always occur a few days before the next big step in the divorce procedure. We're just about there, guys. I'm sorry I put you through this. I mean, so far, have you guys ever heard a story about a furry convention? Wild and in-depth as this one. I feel like this is a fucking movie. I've been taken on an emotional roller coaster. The resolution: Fox did not appear for court, settled digitally, and did not sit in the same room for mediation. He tried to offer nothing and that he would take everything from me, but I trusted my support network. That offer quickly caved in the presence of lawyers, and he settled for almost all of my requests. I won the car, all my requested belongings, my share of the value of the home, and compensation for damages for stealing my property. He won the Nintendo Switch. Well, at least he's got that. He won. Damages towards the convention are not a marital manner and will be a different legal procedure without me being involved, since we have personal history. While it is a general rule of thumb to avoid rebounding after a breakup, I would like to emphasize just how much space Jay and Kay gave me after I moved into my own apartment. They helped me furnish it, helped me move in and decorate it to be mine. They encouraged me to do the things I love to do as a child. They brought me a drawing tablet, told me to chase my dreams of becoming an artist, and I'm sure her drawings are just absolutely lovely. They polished my Twitch stream, made it look professional, and they did 100% of this with zero strings attached, solely because they wanted to see my dreams achieved and me living the best life that I could live, whether without them, which is still, of course, true to this day. They either drove down and spent time with me in Oklahoma, or flew me up to Canada to see them frequently. These people have been by my side without hesitation since the moment I confided in them back in July. To be honest with you, I feel like the real reason they're flying down there and hanging out with you is because you put out for them so they can have their fucked up freaky threesome sex. That's the real reason, to be honest. These people have been by my side without hesitation. Well, there would be hesitation if you weren't f***ing. Since the moment I confided in them back in July, they have loved me with more intent and sincerity than anyone I've ever known in my entire life. Is that what you call love? Having sex with two people you met at a furry convention while your husband is outside the door trying to give you cookies? Is that love? I feel that I can truly be myself around them, the real me. They saved my life as I wasn't really living. They set me free to figure out who I really was, and when I began to discover the real me, that's when I made the decision to spend my life going forward by their sides for as long as they will have me, my best friends. As of speaking, Fox has been spending this time post-divorce role-playing with himself, training AI and uploading the results of his new Foxglove/Foxglove relationship development on social media, having burned bridges with all our network friends. Fox still refers to me by pet names like Hun to this day. I hope he can find happiness and find the Lily he is searching for, and that he can move on from harassing myself, the charity, and my friends. That is, I don't even know. I don't know what to say about that. That is probably the worst thing I've ever seen. Probably one of the worst things I've read in a long fucking time. And thank God, the Cookies Telegram sticker pack they're promoting, guys. If you wanna be, in there, I guess. Guys literally want one thing in this fucking. What is this? Is foul. I don't want to see that. I got mad respect for you standing in the face of this hurricane of insanity and still somehow finding the spirit to smile at it. But regardless, I mean, definitely this is a fucked up situation. I almost want to feel bad for this person, but I feel like given who they are and the activity they've engaged in, like as a method to fix the divorce, they did all that crazy shit. As a method of fixing the relationship, they had a threesome. That is insane. That is insane. This person is not of sound mind. They are not normal. They will never have a healthy relationship. They are fucking crazy. And now they're like tweeting memes about it. Like, and the thing is, like, the cuck thing is funny because it's okay. Here's the Fox Club guy says cuck on it. That's funny. But like, you're all gross freaks. Like, you're all literally fursuiters. I don't I don't like
video posted 2 years ago. Makes sense. Okay.
this. I don't like any of it. Hopefully everyone here is happy in the end or something. Wow, the art is truly this. How, dude? This person's like in their 30s or something, or their 40s, and this is what they're drawing. Really? Yeah. I mean, that's what you. Yeah. What is this, dude? What is that? That's your art? That's the best you could come up with? Man. Well, hopefully you guys can. Oh, there's like art of their three-way relationship with just sewn effects or whatever. This is horrible. I hate all these people. I don't like furries. You know, I'm sorry, Adam YMS, if you're watching this. I'm sorry that I personally insulted you with this video. I'll say what, you know, many people say to prove that they're not bigots. YMS, you're one of the good ones. But these are definitely some of the bad ones, and I don't enjoy this. This is up. I don't know. I don't like this. That's all. Just wanted to share this cancer with you guys since I had to be exposed to it. I figured so did you guys. Be sure to leave a dislike because you probably did dislike.
Jisms streaming. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch it. I'll be like, yeah. Ah, fuck. What the heck is this? Whatever. I'll watch
Furry
it.
Nightmare Fuel.
Let's
You
watch
know
it.
it when you see it. And if you grew up online, you've probably seen a furry Photoshop masterpiece that radicalized you. But where exactly do these images come from? Who's making them? And more importantly, who are the people into this? It turns out there's a fine line between furry art and body horror. And when you cross that line, you enter an obscure internet community where the boundaries between flesh, fursuit, and fetish don't matter. This is a deep dive into botched fursuits and body horror gone sexy. This is Bad Art History. Part 1. Furry Nightmare Fuel. The internet operates much like a freak show. We are morbidly obsessed with creating mythology.
Let's go. I was playing earlier, but I had to go do. Actually, I had to go complete a resume for another job I'm applying for at a hospital. So I'm like, yeah, woohoo. I go to work though, and like, my boss called me in like an hour earlier. My boss and her husband they're heading out to like Oklahoma or something like that. Like, I don't know, somewhere a few states away. They're gonna go gambling, and they're like, Ryan, can you come in a little early so we can leave? I'm like, sure, why not? Whatever. Yeah, I will. I'll satiate your gambling needs and whatnot. No, I'm not. So I'm playing to. It's 11:38 a.m. right now for me, so I'm gonna play for like maybe until the 9-hour mark, maybe 9-hour and 10-minute mark. But then I'm gonna be done. Extra pay for this? Well, yeah, I get an extra hour's worth of pay, so. And because of who I work with tonight, I also get the opportunity to go home early, potentially. I have to ask, though. On Saturday nights, we're sometimes not all that busy, so we'll have 4 people there instead of... Or sometimes on Saturday nights, we're usually busier, so we'll have 4 people there instead of 3. And... But if we slow down or anything like that around like an hour before we close, 2 hours before we close, we'll just send someone home usually. And it's usually the person who's been there the longest we'll send home. And since I'll have been there for 7 hours, maybe. I'll get to go home first. And it'll be awesome. Oh, man. So I will not get to 163 now. I will get there tonight, though. I'm like an hour away from hitting 163. I have dogs next round, so I'll be on 159 here in about 10 minutes. 160. When I get home tonight, I'll play another 5 or so rounds. I don't know. It'll be pretty easy. The goal is just to get to, like, 10 hours tonight. Or maybe, like, 12. I don't know. After that, it's YouTube time? Pretty much, yeah. Well, I was actually listening to this video here. I'll watch anything. I actually, like, I have no taste whatsoever. I will watch anything my feed gives me. So I'm watching this one called The Furry Fetish You've Never Heard of. Bad Art History. By this one person I've been watching on YouTube for a while. Frankie Faye. She does, like, art history videos where she'll talk about an art, like, a piece of art or pieces of art and the history about them. But they're always, like, super disturbing ones. And it's, like, super interesting. Keeps me sane. At least sane enough.
Around are freaks, in every sense of the word. So when a video of a furry dolphin homunculus man began circulating online in 2008 with virtually no explanation, it tapped into humanity's oldest instinct. Being mean to furries on the internet.
Oversimplified?
So
that's a good one, too.
where did this thing come from?
I like them.
This is where our rabbit hole begins. On March 24th, 2007, the Canadian art team North Fur, specializing in making animal-themed face prosthetics, had recently finished up their latest practice piece, a hyper-realistic dolphin muzzle. They took a few pictures, uploaded them to DeviantArt, and the whole thing flew under the radar. But a few months later, the Dolphin Man inexplicably appeared on a furry image board, and someone thought it would be funny if they reposted him to the furry porn website E621.
Of course they do.
And that was the beginning of the end. Users immediately spammed the Dolphin Man with downvotes, called him Nightmare Fuel, and one person even complained,
"It's got the tag Nightmare Fuel." What?
The image was so distressing, it was making him violent. So you can imagine how people reacted when they found the dolphin video. On December 30th, 2007, the North Fur YouTube channel uploaded this alarming clip of the dolphin muzzle in a full range of motion, and Pandora's fursuit was officially unzipped. In no time at all, screenshots of the Dolphin Man began surfacing everywhere. NeoGAF, 4chan, Macrochan. And as is protocol online, if you don't know where something came from, just start making shit up. Rumors quickly spread that this was footage from some government experiment to turn people into Kyle's dad. Others claim that it was a banned Facebook video from 2004, even though it was filmed in 2006. Others still insisted that the original audio was actually lost media, uploading hoax versions of the video with their own audio and claiming that that was the original footage. And for the next 13 years, far past the point where you could simply Google this and find out where it came from, the urban legends persisted. So why did people freak out like this? I'm not gonna insult your intelligence here. There's a pretty glaring issue with this design. It's a touch too realistic for its own good.
It's uncanny.
It came along during an era of the internet where we were all briefly obsessed with Super Mario in real life.
Super Mario in real life.
For millions of people in the 2010s, Uncanny Valley images were their first contact with internet hoax imagery. And armed with this knowledge, people came away with two game theories about the dolphin guy. Either he was disturbing because furry's bad and the artists that made him sucked, and did I mention furry's bad? Or he was creepy because someone wanted him to look that way, because it was a fetish thing. So to really figure out why this image
or
exists,
they just made
we
the
gotta
image.
talk about a really freaky guy in a bathtub named Jonathan Galindo.
Who?
Part 2. Goofy Gooning. So in 2020, kids on the internet were legitimately living in fear of this photorealistic Goofy cosplay in piss yellow lighting with dead eyes. But one look at this image and you can tell that it's significantly older than TikTok. So where did this furry nightmare fuel par excellence come from? On January 28, 2012, a user on the furry art site Fur Affinity, going by Dusky Sam, began documenting his
Makes
progress
sense, I was only
on
8
a
years old then.
cosplay. Through a combination of clothes, makeup, and a dog snout prosthetic that he had purchased from North Fur FX, Dusky Sam uploaded a series of 29 photos showing off the range of his talents. He even dipped his toe into some alt history predictions. And this was all well received until it hit 4chan in 2015. Internet sleuths began digging deeper, and in no time at all, they found his XTube account. Over the next 3 years, different Goofy photos, explicit and otherwise, began to surface on Reddit, sparking discussion about which side should have actually won World War II. But the videos have long since been taken down, the site hosting them is closed, and it seemed like Dusky Sam could finally put all of this behind him. Until 2019. That year, a new offshoot of an infamous whale-themed internet challenge had just taken off. Numerous identical accounts popped up across all social media sites, claiming to be someone named Jonathan Galindo, who looked like this, and threatened to dox children unless they performed some permanent act. It seems obvious now that this was not
what did it say?
performed some permanent
Can you eat cyanide? Can you eat razors?
act. It seems obvious now that this was not all just one guy, but TikTokers weaponized their collective 10 IQ anyway, and uncritically made the connection between Dusky Sam's cosplay and the fictional persona of Jonathan Galindo. And they came after him so hard that Samuel Canini, the actual human being behind Dusky Sam, had to issue an official statement disavowing any connection between his artwork and the challenge. And it was at this point, researching the video, that I hit a wall. I knew in my gut that this was connected to a fetish thing somehow. I wasn't convinced that this could possibly just end with the Goofy Nightmare bathtub. But I figured, okay, there's one more furry Nightmare Fuel classic that I haven't looked into yet. It's probably nothing, but, you know, maybe it'll contain a very specific phrase that only gets used in a very obscure DeviantArt fetish community that gets so balls to the wall with it that even furries don't want to touch it. You know, hypothetically. Part 3. The Redbubble Dog Man.
I have not heard of that.
So it turns out I was partially right about this fetish thing, because this is where it gets really weird. So a few weeks ago, PugPoggers on Twitter asked me to find the origin of these two images. The one on the right is kind of a dead end, and it's most likely AI generated. But the one on the left is actually a Nightmare Fuel classic from 2009. Uploaded to DeviantArt that year by artist Jagdragon, it doesn't look like much. In fact, it was just this guy's Photoshop project for his CG arts class, and his intention was to morph himself with his dog. But the internet had other plans for him. And in the mid-2010s, this image made the usual rounds on Reddit and Imgur, and everyone made their usual kill it with fire comments. One Redditor found this image so frightening, he demanded to know if this actually happened to someone in real life.
Really?
To this day, no one has answered him. But the Dog Man also appeared on one other website you wouldn't expect. If you reverse search this, you'll find a listing for a sticker on Redbubble. And the listing name isn't furry anything or Dog Man or anything like that. It simply reads Zoomorph sticker. So I went on deviantart.edu and typed in Zoomorph and found this, and this, and this, and all of these. Because even though the dolphin muzzle, Bathtub Goofy, and the Dog Man are not exclusively fetish images as intended by the artists, in one of the worst coincidences ever, they happen to look exactly like something that is. Something DeviantArt immediately recommends when you click on this image. The Zoomorph humiliation fetish. But if you want to hear a sentence that's a little less upsetting, try this video is sponsored by Meta PCs. Customizing a PC can be boomers on DeviantArt. Now, before everyone jumps
Listen,
me in the
listen,
comments,
this, me who can't
3
see
things
it.
you ought to know.
It's just a bunch of pictures of people like super awkwardly humanized as animals. So it's like a dog that's like human but also a dog at the same time. It's super creepy. There's no way this is like an actual thing. I refuse to believe it. I'm not gonna like look it up or anything, but you know, I'm not taking her word for it.
This is anthro-art, as in anthropomorphic animal. This is a
Skinwalker?
photomorph,
Almost.
a term no one really uses anymore. And this is a zoomorph. Now on paper, these are 2 versions of the same concept, an animal with distinctly human features. But while this variety can be found
Well, okay, think of John Pork. That's a really good example. John Pork is a really good example, actually. They just showed that on screen. And I can't lie, that's actually a really good point. It's basically like, imagine John Pork but with other animals. That's what it is for the most part. Xenomorph? I don't know. That's like an alien or something.
basically anywhere furry art exists, this one really only lives on DeviantArt. But why? Well, there are actually a few rules when it comes to furry fetish art. Generally speaking, you don't want to lean into the human features too much, and you never, ever, ever want to cut out someone's face in Microsoft Paint and stick it on a barn animal. Unless that happens to be your fetish. So to come back to our dog man for no reason at all, right next to him is a user-generated collection called Photomorphs. And already, it's not obvious that this is mainstream furry. The biggest furry porn site that hosts this kind of content only has several dozen images to offer. And one of the few artists behind most of this stuff on there nuked his entire gallery for reasons unknown. And when you look up the term zoomorph, no results on the furry porn sites. Yet, DeviantArt is crawling with these guys. This account's whole shtick is taking random selfies and photoshopping animal features onto the women's heads. And the comments are all really normal about it. This one takes a more Animorph-style approach to, again, disfiguring the selfies of completely innocent women. This guy roleplays as a researcher at a medical facility that runs experiments turning beautiful young women into mammalian abominations.
That sounds like SCP with extra steps.
Theory-anthropist. Keep that name in the back of your head.
I
And
don't
the
wanna.
examples are honestly too numerous to list.
What the heck?
Animal, every stage of transition, every conceivable category is someone's fetish on this website. And if you still don't believe me, here's a guy whose thing is specifically putting the heads of Asian women onto small animals. But hold up. You're thinking, how can you say it's a fetish just because these people are photoshopping really scary stuff using women's selfies?
Like, okay, yeah, like, no, I actually, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Because I'm glad I don't see this. Oh, well, feast your eyes. This is what, like, what the heck is this? This, how? What is this?
And also writing really long stories about it. They could be doing this for any reason. There are actually some
Wow. Oh my gosh.
very reliable tells when it comes to DeviantArt.
Alright, I'll play one
fetish
more round.
behavior. The comments, for example, on this post by the Theory-anthropist about a hot young blonde being turned into a lioness against her will, the sole comment reads, "Continue with the experiments." Or this post of a dog girl using a selfie of dubious origin, where the comments praise her remarkable beauty and one calls her good girl. You get the point. But even lacking comments, the fetish tells alone are numerous. Extreme emphasis in the photo captions on the women's humiliation and despair over their new animal body. Constant repetition when it comes to words like drooling, out of control, or the horror. And most
What is the
tellingly,
next
oh no,
Boomer?
the big lady
Boomer
Saturday.
body
If you've seen a
horror?
few
What?
of these videos now, you know what that phrase means. But if you don't, I'm basically referring to these incredibly complex origin stories that they come up with in the captions, explaining how these young, beautiful women just accidentally fell into a vat one day and became some kind of like a cat girl science experiment. And thematically the whole thing reads like, oh no, I can't believe this happened to me. Oh no, well, I'm not gonna do anything about it now. That kind of thing. So what to make of all this? Simply put,
It's weird.
It's an animal transformation fetish with humiliation features. And even though the animal part plays a major role, this is really not much of a furry thing at all. They just happen to share some vocabulary. Regardless of genre,
I'm
furry
scared, dude,
fetish art
honestly,
is
but I can't-
primarily about animals with...
Dude, I can't click off now though. It's already like, I'm like 14 minutes into the 26. I'm like, I'm like mortified, but
human features. Whereas this stuff is really just human women attaining animal features, often against their will. In fact, I couldn't help but notice something incredibly boomer-coded about the entire thing,
What?
which may explain its absence on the popular websites. A lot of the women featured tend to be conventionally attractive as opposed to internet hot. You don't see a lot of e-girls, mostly stock photo models and girl next door types. The captions seemingly never refer to memes or pop culture. What film references there are feel incredibly dated. This community does little to indicate that they're aware of a world outside of DeviantArt.com. And I'd say the biggest tell is their use of this word, photo manipulation. The term is pretty dated. It was never even very popular back when photoshopping something was a novel concept. And this is obviously just my speculation, but the whole thing really does just feel like a group of older people for whom the furry thing never clicked in their heads. So if they're not furries, then
What
how
are
did
they?
they figure out they were into this? Part 5. Boomer body horror. Transformation fetishes are everywhere online. Often abbreviated TF, they're one of the most popular categories among furry
Hola,
websites and
hi.
really anywhere you find fetish art, period. And the simplest explanation is, many people are drawn to imaginary scenarios where they can surrender power of their body in a controlled
all right,
environment.
I'm done watching this. I'm done watching. What am I listening to? Yeah, I'm done watching it myself. The video initially was called the furry fetish you never heard of, bad art history. Usually, the videos are like pretty good, but like I don't know. I don't think I can't stomach that one. I'm kind of done with it. Like the bad art histories, I don't know. I haven't heard that one before. I don't think I really wanted to. Like I knew of the dolphin image, but I didn't. You know, I understand why the whole like, oh, curiosity killed the cat now. I completely understand it. But in that sense there, curiosity not only would have killed the cat, curiosity would have mutilated it and just like done everything like horrible in the process. All right, what's another better video I could watch? What is something better? Thank you, zombies. Alright, let's find something else. We have, this one by the... Oh, this is one of those... I'm gonna click and hear about fetish. I know, right? What was it called? First introduction? Shoot, what's the word called? What an introduction, I don't know. We're doing that video? That one, yeah, I actually have that one saved still. Or not saved, but in my watch laters. I had this one here called, this is a guy I follow on YouTube. He like reviews music and everything. This one's called I Found an Even Cringier Spotify Playlist.
So I did a video like this a couple months ago going over some of these hilarious, very, very cringe Spotify playlists that I found, because there's a certain thing, if you go down this rabbit hole on Spotify playlists, you end up seeing, if you search in certain terms, you get a lot of these insane, like, there's no other way to describe it other than just showing you kind of like the titles of these. You'll go down a rabbit hole of these. Hypersexual with a CNC kink. And the first song is Rape Me by Nirvana. And you just type in like these certain words, you'll find so many of these.
Okay, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or I don't even know at this point. Bro, we lost the plot.
A lot of people liked it. A lot of people enjoyed it, and there's certainly a lot more.
Is that Moist Critical? No, it's not. It is. I have no. Liam Donovan. Liam Donovan.
I think that's a Google search. I think that's a Google search away. I think that's what you got to do. Unfortunately, I can't be the one to explain that. Nobody has the heart to tell him. Dude, this is just the most brutal one. So this is 3,000 saves, which you find a lot of these hypersexual ones, which, you know, that's fine. That's cool. I know I got a couple comments of people saying that, you know, hypersexual is a real disease. You shouldn't make fun of it or whatever. Like, bro, okay. First, like, chill out. It's not that deep. But you see a playlist like this, how the fuck can you not laugh when this is the title and then the first song is Rape Me? Anti-rape song. Violent pornography. Fuck machine. This guy just searched up songs about sex and just added all of them into a playlist. Do you see these names? Masturbation. Date rape. What? And there's multiple rape me's? What?
Why are we titling songs like this?
Pooping. Poopin'? I'm sorry. What is Rape Me by Poopin'?
I'm about to click off this video.
How do you even find this? This is 14,000 monthly listeners. The best reality is if she's just like self-promoting her own songs into this playlist, and this is just her band. Daddy by Korn? What, isn't this the song where is this the song where he raps about like his trauma as a child of like being something? Isn't this that song? Yes. How does this fit in? What is the context where you're listening to this? This is literally just any kind of song about sex in any possible way, or rape, anything? Rape playlist? It seems like it. Jesus. They didn't listen to any of them? Yeah, honestly, that's probably the most realistic timeline, is that they just saw the title, Daddy by Korn.
Ember's Journal, Someone You Love?
That fits right in here.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
Brutal start, though. Okay, what do we got next? Can we see anti-woke playlist?
Anti-woke
I'm fascinated
playlist.
by this one. Confederate flag mixed with a gray and white flag as well. Of course, you know, you gotta get Tom McDonald up on here. You gotta get Tom McDonald. Facts don't care about your feelings. White boys, the system, straight white male. Dude, this is just a greatest hits compilation. It's all Tom McDonald.
Straight white male, hate myself. Mad that my skin so pale, got white privilege so I cannot fail. The world told me I'm evil stale. I break the
Dude, what year is this from Tom? Is this his early years? What is going on here? This is so peak. You think so, man? Somehow worse than the rape playlist.
I'm not a Nazi. I like black people, black Jesus, black Santa, black coffee. Girl power says I'm the issue. Gay rights think I'm trying to stop them. I'll tell y'all tripping, I'll get you some tissues.
All y'all tripping, I'll get you some. This guy's a G. Look at this album cover.
Wait, Gangsta Paradise. That's like a decent song, though.
Gosh, this is so good. What year is this? How many years has he been doing this? Okay, this is 2019. Because hasn't he been doing this since 2016, 2017, around when Trump first came to office? It's so funny. I guess a certain subsect of MAGA people do like him, because of course that's where all of his fans come from. But I would like to meet some like conservatives who are still very much conservatives, but they denounce people like Tom McDonald, just see this as like a burden onto any kind of like movement, just like make them look worse by proxy. Kind of like TX2. Kind of like TX2 for like any kind of left-leaning people. Dude, these are all-time album covers though. These are just a riot. Look at this. Really genius playlist there. Okay, this one I just thought was bizarre.
POV, you're that funny
saves.
friend?
POV, you're the fat funny
Oh, the
friend.
fat funny friend.
What? I'm just so confused. And the bio is, you are beautiful no matter what. All your curves are beautiful. I mean, hey, I could get down with that sentiment. Okay, that's, you know, body positivity. Hell yeah, man. But I'm just confused for, is this, I could be wrong on this. I mean, surely this is helping out some people, but I find it so amusing that a way to like cope with being the fat, funny friend is like to put on this playlist. That's just such a funny picture to envision in my mind. You know, you spend all day hanging out with your friends. Unfortunately, you're the one who makes all of them laugh. All your prettier friends, you make all of them laugh, but inside, you're just struggling. And what do you need to put on? What's gonna be on the speakers? We got a perfect playlist for you, sis. count your calories, dude.
All right, we're gonna look at the one you saw, Ember's Journal. Ember's Journal. What is this? Videos. The fear of isolation, is that... Wait, hold on. Is that Firewatch as the... I'm gonna watch that one. I think that's Firewatch as the cover. Firewatch is one of the best games I've ever played. Child... Yep, okay, this is... Minor spoilers for Firewatch! Yes! I love Firewatch so much.
Firewatch is a game about isolation.
It's so good.
You play as a character named Henry, venturing out into the vast and vibrant wilderness for a job you took. The place you're heading is deep in the Shoshone National Forest in Wyoming, a 2-day hike from where the trailhead begins. It is beautiful. The wildlife, the sun shining through the trees. It's almost enough to make you forget about your problems.
The 9 hours and 10 minutes.
Forget about why you came here. Finally, you make it to...
Yeah, I remember, I think in Firewatch you go there to get away from your wife or something, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna finish the round out here, and then I'll be done, but...
Two Forks Lookout. You are a Firewatch. This is a calm, solitary place where you could come to escape everything. To just be alone. The identity of Firewatch as a game is this solitude, finding comfort in loneliness. But there's something I didn't expect to learn when playing this game.
It's kind of dark.
Something that kept following me around everywhere I went. Firewatch is a horror game.
Yes!
The horror genre isn't something I have a very close relationship with. Back in 2016, Outlast was added to Xbox Games with Gold, allowing anyone with an Xbox Live Gold membership to download and play the game for free.
Outlast is so good,
While I hadn't had much experience with horror games before, I heard Outlast was pretty good.
Yep.
So I downloaded it. I turned my lights off, opened the game, and began playing what was my first ever horror game experience. Within just a few minutes of playing, I climbed the scaffolding on the side of the asylum,
I remember the jump scare.
entered through the window,
the library jump scare.
And the moment the lights went out, I thought I heard a sound in the dark, and I shut off my Xbox. Needless to say,
Outlast,
horror
yep, I know,
games
right?
just weren't my thing.
The first
Games
that
are meant
jump
to be
scare in
fun,
Outlast, the first one with the
enjoyable,
in the
and
library or book
scaring
area,
myself
whatever
just
it's called.
didn't really seem fun to me. I still respected the genre and still wanted to play a ton of horror games, but just could never really bring myself to. When I began Firewatch, I expected an atmospheric adventure game with a beautiful art style and a thought-provoking story, and that's exactly what I got. But what I also got was a deep and permeating fear of isolation.
Okay.
The first moment in Firewatch that truly tore me out of this illusion of peace that I thought the game would have was near the end of the first day. After a small endeavor of stopping some kids from lighting fireworks in the middle of the forest, you make your way back to Two Forks Lookout. And along the way, you run into a blinding light centered on you. A figure standing up on a ledge above you.
I want to replay Firewatch. I also want to replay Road 96 as well. Road 96 was also one of those games I loved so much. The soundtracks in them were really the best part, I think. Okay, I gotta be done. I gotta go to work here soon, so. 161. I'll hit Instas tonight when I get home. Probably play to like 170 tonight. Instas go by pretty quickly. They're about 13 minutes a round to start off with, so. It's crazy to think that they eventually get up to being like 2.5 hours per round, so. Yeah. Fun at work? I know, right? Fun. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.